Welcome back to Business and Politics. You're watching SMNI. Commissioner de la Cruz, the exciting thing about these things that we're talking about, of course, we're talking about problems, but there's a positive side to it because there's a lot of development that needs to happen. And does that mean that there will be also employment or career opportunities for Filipinos, and what are those?
Including business.
Including business.
Including innovations. As I mentioned during the General Assembly of our engineers, specifically the sanitary engineers.
Okay.
We have the prosperity plan.
Okay.
This is the strategic plan for our local climate change action plan and our national action climate change action plan. The last chapter is about the so-called prosperity plan.
Okay.
And remember, when we have a problem, where is the problem? He who can provide the solution will be the winner.
Okay.
That's what's happening to Elon Musk.
Okay.
Elon Musk, because of his e-vehicles,
Okay.
the stocks skyrocketed.
Right.
Yeah, he's considered to be one of the top
economic
three.
dividend.
Yeah. So for our Filipino professionals and for our Filipino engineers, talents, we need to be innovative. Number one. Number two, for our green jobs, there was already a MOA from the Department of Labor and Employment together with the DNR. It was witnessed by none other than our chairman sa climate change, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, the signing of the green jobs, and there was a MOA that the Department of Labor and Employment will be providing the necessary support and remunerations to our upland farmers.
Okay.
Or forest farmers, including those that are engaged in the upland. Why? In order for us to avoid kaingin.
Okay.
Kaingin. Then,
So give them jobs.
give them jobs.
Yeah, all right.
And these are green jobs. And then, we're also looking forward for the modernization of the waste management of each and every LGUs. That's why, for the LGUs, we do have electromechanical engineer, we have sanitary engineers. We're working hand in hand with the different researcher in order for our LGUs to access technology and finance. We also have the different associations like the ENFI, the environmental planners. We have more than 5,000 environmental planners in the Philippines. But for country like the US, for the Western countries, if you are environmental practitioners now, you have a high-paying job.
Okay.
That's why.
So are you suggesting that maybe our younger viewers to look into potentially studying that in college, or to look into careers?
Exactly, sir.
There's opportunities.
There is
That's
opportunity.
what you're saying, right?
We have to, and then also our LGU should tap the environmental planners, the environmental engineers, and for the LGUs, they have what we call 20% development fund.
Okay.
They have to, for their budget, for their budget lens, they have to look into the possibility of appropriating at least 30 to 50 or 60% of the 20% development for climate fund.
Okay.
We call it climate tagging.
Okay.
That's including for food, water security, and of course for the re-studying the dynamic zoning ordinance that they have.
Okay.
They have to see to it that the area for coastal area for mangrove should be intended for mangrove.
Okay.
Those who died during the different storms that we have, Typhoon Yolanda, etc., these are the area on the hazard area.
Right.
Declared hazard area. For human settlement, coastal area is not for human settlement. Coastal area should be for mangrove. We need to go balance and harmony with nature. Climate change is something not to be looked into as quote-unquote nakakatakot, frightening situation. But it has to be something that we need to plan plan in accordance with nature. Because if we fail to plan, then we plan to fail.
Right.
For us to succeed and to become victorious, if I may use the word, and prosperous as a country, even if you're considered to be number one vulnerable country by the World Risk Index, still there is opportunity. We need to play the plan in harmony with nature. And we need to support the promulgations or the passage of the National Land Use Act. The National Land Use Act, legislated by Congress, it cannot be altered. It cannot be changed by the LGUs.
Right.
I am a former vice mayor. I am a former local politicians. If there is a businessman who supported you in the LGU level and they want to do a project in an area that's not intended, the local sanggunian and the mayor can easily change the ordinance.
Right. Reclassify the zoning.
Reclassify exemptions. That's what's happening. Now, if we have a national land use plan,
Right.
di kahon, hindi
Right.
po pwede, I am a municipal mayor or sangguniang bayan member or vice mayor, I can always tell my supporter, it cannot be done.
Okay.
Because there is a national
can't
law.
pressure you, yeah.
They cannot pressure me.
Yeah.
So in a way, maganda rin po yun sa mga LGU officers natin. Because minsan silang naiipit.
Right.
So it is...
How realistic is that, Commissioner? Because they've been talking about that for 20, 30 years. I think during the term of President Duterte, there was an attempt to pass a land use act, but there was something wrong with it that President Duterte didn't like. He ended up vetoing it and sent it back to Congress. What's the effective way to do
At
it?
this point in time is because we already have what we call the climate emergency.
Okay.
I think we
So
have...
should be on top of the list.
We have Congressman Chato
Okay.
as chair
Okay.
of the climate change, and of course we have Senator Villar, who are also with the climate change advocacy. Again, we need to be decisive on this.
Right.
We do have a very thin opportunity.
Okay.
National Land Use Plan is
Vital.
pivotal
Yeah.
nexus policy
Wow.
for us to survive as a nation.
Wow. Is there a draft in Congress now that...
I suppose so.
Because I saw that these people that you mentioned, they're champions, I would call them, of the environment. Senator Legarda and the others.
Yeah.
They greeted you on your Consciousness Week.
Yeah, of
for
course. Yeah.
climate change.
They are with
So
us.
they're working with you, right?
They are always with us. And what happened to Yolanda? What happened to Maguindanao recently? These are really eye-opening. And at this point in time, we have young people who are very dynamic at nakikialam talaga.
Right.
And we rallied the young people during our climate change week last week, and they are so dynamic. Nakakatuwa talaga.
Well, that's good that there's sort of activism now among the legislators. What about the consumers, the ordinary Filipinos? Because I heard someone say that you can have all of these laws and policies, but if people don't change their habits, then it'll be harder to effect the change. For the ordinary people, what changes should be done within our household, our personal habits? What are you recommending, or what is the Commission recommending?
Yeah, it is as if it's a chicken and egg situation.
Yeah.
For first, we have to start it with the leaders.
Okay.
Our countrymen, our people as a people, the Filipino will follow.
Right.
They will follow the mayors. They will follow the barangay, punong barangay.
Right.
They will follow the PROC members.
Okay.
We still believe that we as a Filipino, we have a high regards to our leaders.
Okay.
But it has to be a leadership through example.
Okay.
What does it mean? It simply means that if we have leaders who walk the talk,
Okay.
That's why, for me, I'm very inspired to
Okay.
be at the Climate Change Commission because the chairman...
Right now, right?
Right now, because the chairman
Is the
was able to have this renewable energy during the time that we don't have the Renewable Energy Act.
Pioneer.
Now, pioneering. Now, if he was able to do it, why other cannot do it? Number two, for our consumer, I think we need to provide the necessary language for them.
Okay.
We need to explain to them.
I like your language, may lagnat. I think
Yeah, may lagnat.
I think people can relate to that.
Opo, and then I just want to flag this one. Aside from this, we have a problem with regards to the plastic pollution.
Okay.
Something
Very
that
serious
is,
one, yeah.
very serious one. There is a study in the US that 9 out of 10 with prostate problem. Others, prostate problem, if I may use this colloquial word, ang sabi, it's underused or overused. No, that's not true.
Okay.
There is what we call a DPA. It's a chemical
In
used
plastics.
for plastic.
Yes.
9 out of 10, they have a trace of that chemical.
Wow.
For our breastfeeding mother, the breastfeed milk also infected,
With DPA?
contaminated with plastic.
Wow.
That's why we have the ADHD problem, attention deficiency syndrome, including the breast problem cancer. So, all of this combined with climate change, we have a problem,
Right.
a very, very big problem. That's why, if we're caring for the environment, we will not throw plastic
Right.
everywhere. We will not throw garbage. Of course, we will plant trees. If we plant trees, we don't throw our garbage. We consume responsibly. We don't get food more than what we can eat. Then we will be having a planet, a home that we can give and pass to the next generation.
So it's our self-interest and our survival.
Exactly. And that's why for a climate, trying to laymanize the climate language, it has to be per capita. Per capita, anong mangyayari sa'yo kapag magagalit yung apo mo? Because our apo, the next generation, will be blaming us.
Yeah.
Because the present problem of climate change is caused by the present generation, that is 1900 up to this 2020, the so-called industrial age, the anthropogenic activity during the industrial age. So we're part of the problem. We need to become part of the solution, or else someday, somehow, our children and grandchildren will be blaming us. So we're talking it that way.
Yeah.
If we talk that way, then, ganito pala yan.
Yeah.
So kailangan ayusin ko.
Yeah. Well, Commissioner, I wish you luck, and
Yes, sir.
I'd like to support you wherever I can. Thank you very much for your time. But before we go, maybe you'd like to leave our guests with some final thoughts and a message.
Thank you, sir. Again, SMNI, Sir Dante, and to our Pastol Kibuloy for this nation building, we're so thankful from the Climate Change Commission. In behalf of the Climate Change Commission, headed by the President, President Bongbong Marcos, our fellow commissioners, Commissioner Rachel Herrera, and our Executive Director, Director Borge, we're so thankful, and we know that we're doing this not only for our country, but for the global community. Number two, we're doing this not for ourselves, but for the next generation. I want to give us last kwento para sa laymanizing climate language. Noon po, 40 years ago, dahil I'm 50, noon, pag naglalaro ako, punta ako doon, kapag pagod na ako, uhaw ako, punta ako sa poso, bomba ako sa poso, inom ako sa gripo, walang baso. But now, no more. We need this one. Why? Because we poisoned our water through the leachate brought about by landfill, but by chemicals.
Yeah.
If we will not be having a paradigm shift, my apo, my children will be needing a backpack with oxygen to breathe fresh air 25 years from now. And this happened already during one of the board exam ng isa sa mga anak ko. Nag-board exam siya. She was told to have what they call oxygen therapy while they are reading. So there is now a canister of oxygen. We don't want our children to be bringing a backpack just to breathe fresh air, the way that we're bringing mineral water to have a fresh water. It's happening. The COVID-19 pandemic is a wake-up call for everybody. If we're doing business, we accumulate all the money because we're doing business, but we forget the environment. Someday, somehow, like COVID-19 pandemic, kahit gaano karami yung pera natin, kung wala namang airplane, walang mall, sarado lahat, sa bahay lang tayo, don't wait for next thing to happen. We need to have a paradigm shift by means of being a climate change responsible citizen and climate change warrior. Thank you very much, Sir Dante, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Commissioner De La Cruz. And there you go. Please act now. Thank you, everyone, for watching this program, those watching live and those watching the replay. Thank you also to Pastor Apollo Kibuloy for making this program possible. This is Business and Politics, and I'll see you next week.